So this video is going to cover any additional settings for the online booking system. So you should already have seen a guide for the booking configuration, which is how you set up your availability that will show on the online booking system. But we do also have some additional settings that you can use to set the booking system up exactly how you want it to be. So to find those settings, you need to come over to here and we need to go to settings. We then want to come over to this section, so it's the booking system, so it's within the account section of settings, and it's this little section to do with the booking system. So this link here, the booking system URL, that is the link that you can use on your social media, or you can use that on your website to link brides to the online booking system. You can copy it by clicking here, or you can click here to get the embed code, which then can be used to embed the booking system into your website. There will be a separate video which will walk you through how to do that exactly. What we're looking at today is actually the settings section in here. So if you go ahead and click it, it will open up a version of what your online booking system will look like. So we have lots of different settings within here. So this is all set up for My Store. So for you, it would pull across your store details. So it's your location, your company address and contact details. And you can also choose lots of different things over here. So you have an option about whether you want your logo to show. So if I toggle that on, you'll see it shows my logo. If you're embedding the booking system in your website, I maybe wouldn't have the logo on show because it will already be part of your web page, so people will know what company you are. So it's not really necessary to have the logo again, so assume you'll have it on your web page somewhere. If you just directly linking to the booking system, so say you have a book now button, you click it and it'll open up this page, maybe you would want your logo on show, so then it shows that it's your company that they're booking with. So I'm going to turn that back off again. The next setting is whether you want the appointments that the brides book to automatically be added into your diary or not. So these two settings, automatically add to diary and allow booking at any time, go hand in hand. If you want the bride to automatically be added to the diary, it means that when she goes on, she'll book an appointment, she'll be able to see, based on the live data from the diary, if you have this turned on as well. So she'll be able to see if there's any gaps in the diary. So say she'll log on, she'll see that there's an appointment available Saturday at 11 o'clock. She'll go ahead, she'll book it, it will go straight into the diary. She'll get an email through to say thank you for booking your appointment Saturday at 11 o'clock. That's all done with and you don't have to do anything. So to set it up that way, you'd want automatically added to your diary on, and you'd want allow bookings at any time off. The other way around that some people do like to run things is that you don't want it to automatically add to your diary, you'd want it to come through as an appointment request. If that's the case, you'd want this turned off and you might want allow bookings at any time on. So that just means that the diary will show, say on a Saturday, say if you've got bookings in at 9, 10 and 11, it will still show them available on the booking system. So the bride can then request her preference of time. So she might say, okay, I want to come Saturday at 10 o'clock. You would then see there's an appointment request come through. You would then contact the bride and say, oh, I'm sorry, you can't come Saturday at 10 o'clock, but you can come Saturday at 2 o'clock. You would then move the appointment and you would then add that to the diary, and only once you've moved it and added it to the diary would a message then be sent to the bride to say your appointment is booked. So it adds in another level of you having to be involved with the booking and allocate the brides into the right section of the diary and allocate your appointments when you want them. Lots of pros and cons with that. Some people like it to automatically add to the diary because it's one job that's off your shoulders. Some people like to have the control and like to have that personal touch with the bride, so they have the request and then they'll make contact with them. So it's purely however you would want things to work. One consideration is if you're having payments, people do find sometimes if they are charging for appointments, then maybe you want to allow the bride to choose their exact appointment and add it straight to the diary because they are paying for that appointment. Just a consideration. These two settings down here, if you are using our booking config to set up your availability, you don't need to worry about. These are only for the basic booking system. So if you want to set your hours, say from 9 till 5, Monday till Friday, the bride can log on, book any appointment type. You can set your appointment interval and your gaps between your appointments here. If you're using the advanced booking configuration to set exactly what appointment times you want available on which day, you don't need to worry about these. You can add in a redirect URL, which means that when the bride has finished adding, the page that they then land on will redirect. So you might want to redirect it to a page on your website that has details about how to find the shop, what to bring with them. So you can add that in here if you want to. You can also upload any terms and conditions for the booking here as well. So if you have booking T's and C's, like you're going to be charged if you don't cancel within 48 hours, you can upload those and they will then show as part of the booking form as well. The next section is relating to the booking form. However, we now have our customizable booking form, so you're probably not going to want to use that, and I'd recommend that you go to the custom forms help guide to have a look at how to build out your own booking form on here. So we don't necessarily need to go into that today. This was how we used to do things. You used to be able to choose exactly what was visible, but as I say, you're much better building your own custom form now, so I'm going to minimize that. The next section is relating to the colours and the fonts. So this is how you can get the booking system to be blended perfectly with your website. So the foreground colour, if I just move to the next stage of the booking here, if I then change the foreground colour, you can drag it to anything you want and you'll see it will change this kind of outline colour. So you can set that exactly how you want it. You can paste the hex number in here if you have your own colour scheme on your website, so again it just blends in really seamlessly. And exactly the same for the background colour. We can go on, you can paste your hex number in if you want, or you can move it around, so you can see you can just drop and drag it to whatever colour you want it to be. We added this dark text option because sometimes, especially if your foreground colour is quite a light colour, so if I move that to like here, and then we go to next, you'll see it's not all that clear, the contrast between the white and the lighter colour. So you can swap to dark text, which just makes the contrast a little more clear, so brides are able to read things. And the last setting in here as well is the font. So you can go through and you can actually choose any font from this drop down for the booking system here. So say I want to swap to that, you'll see how it will change the font. So you can choose one that's more similar to the scheme of your website. So again, it just looks nice and custom. The hours section, that was again relating to if you just want to use the basic booking system on here, set your opening hours on whatever day and choose how many appointments are allowed in at once. If you're wanting to have different appointment types available on different days, you need to be using our advanced booking config, which the help guide I will link for as well. So this is only used if you want to have the same appointments available kind of on every day. And then the last option down here is we have the stores section. So this is only for if you have more than one boutique. If you're a multi-boutique store, you have lots of different options with your stores. You can merge their availability, which means that it's if your stores share your staff, for example. So say you have two boutiques that are quite close to each other, you might be able to have one bride in one boutique and one bride in the other boutique, but you only actually have one staff member working. So although you could have a bride in either boutique, if you've only got one staff member, you only want one bride to be booked between those two stores, so you can merge their availability using this setting. If you do have multi-stores, I'd recommend that you contact me to run through your settings, because sometimes it can be a little bit more complicated just to make sure you've got everything set up exactly right, so I'd be more than happy to run through that with you. You can also set up to prevent switching stores, so that just means that on the initial page where I had the option for the drop down, we can turn that back off. And that will mean that you can see here there's now a drop down, so you can choose the different stores. So sometimes you have two different stores but they'll have a different website, and you maybe don't necessarily want people visiting one website to see that you're affiliated with the other one, so you can change it so that that is not an option. So if I change it back again, you'll see it removes that option to change stores within the booking widget here. So we can have the store down here as well, so that just selects the store, and then you can add the store information on here. So you can add a bit of additional information. So you might want to say like bridesmaids, appointments, bear with my typos, available at Sister Boutique. Excuse that extremely poorly typed sentence, but you can see how it populates down here. So you can add additional information in for each of your stores as well. The last section down here is custom. So this is just relating to some custom code that you can add. So that's mainly for things like Google Analytics. If you're wanting to add any custom code to track the people visiting the booking system, you can pop that in here.